One's here, digital recording is in progress. Okay, good evening. This is the HDC meeting for Tuesday, May 20th. It is 7 PM. I'm going to start the meeting. I'm going to appoint both of our colleagues tonight as full members, so we have a quorum of 3. So the clerk tonight will be Moriarty, and he will read the public notice of hearing.
Okay. Town of Groton, notice of public hearing, Historic District Commission. The Historic District Commission will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, May 20th, 2025 at 7 PM at the Groton Town Hall Annex, 134 Groton Long Point Road, and virtually via the Zoom platform to hear the following applications requesting a certificate of appropriateness. HDC 25-0030, 3 Elm Street, David Preka, applicant, Amy Nolan, owner, second story addition, PIN number 261-918-206-394. HDC 25-0032, 12 Water Street, Montes Larecas, applicant, Dominique Yoko, owner, directory sign, PIN number 2619-183-05500. HDC 25-0033, 200 Cliff Street, Bill Birchie, applicant, Lester Olin, owner, rear addition, PIN number 2619-1422-8966. HDC 25-0034, 273 High Street, Josh Armstrong, applicant, Kara Hess, owner, Chimney Cap, PIN number 2619-183-21335. HDC 25-0035, 1 Water Street, Peter Springsteel, applicant, Edward Cassidy, owner, patio door awning, PIN number 2619-183-08788. And then finally, HDC 25-0036, Downtown Mystic, Megan Granado, applicant, Town of Groton, owner, heat sensors, PIN number 2619-183-05896E. Zoom meeting link will be posted on the town's meeting calendar. Applications are on file and available for public inspection during normal business hours at the Planning Department, 134 Groton Long Point Road, Groton, Connecticut, dated this 13th of May, 2025 at Groton, Connecticut. Mark Ernst, secretary.
All right, thank you that is always fun to read. All right, so we're going to, on the side over here is the hearing procedures. I'm going to waive reading the hearing procedures, but if you would like to see them, they're right over on that side table. Okay, so we are going to start with Cheryl Bellew, which is 26 West Mystic Avenue. And that was continued last week. And we'll have you. All right. So first grab your microphone.
Yeah, if you could just slide that over a little bit.
Okay.
And then have the papers face us and the camera will pick it up.
See, I'm going to zoom in a little bit if you.
And this crack between the 2 tables is kind of the center of the screen.
So do you want to over?
Slit.
Yeah, pretty good right there. And then towards them, there you go.
That's perfect right there.
Okay.
Just the reference.
Okay.
State your name and your address and why you're here.
Yeah, Cheryl Boyer, 26 West Mystic Avenue. I am here for certificate of appropriateness for a fence.
Take us through.
Okay. So this is street view. I'm looking to put the fence along the perimeter of the rear of my property. So it would be behind this structure and run. So I would do about 8-foot sections across the back. This is from the right side of the property. So you wouldn't really see the fence from here, but I did propose a panel, 1 panel on the side right here. I'm gonna skip to
the dot that comes through the bushes partially.
Yeah, so, so the fencing section would be running from this end of my property to about here, and then there are some large like bushes and brush right there, so I wouldn't extend it that whole way there. And then a small panel section right here. And this is the the materials that I propose, would be the cedar, something like this. I think the posts are pine.
Do you have a list like from the buyer, from like a Home Depot kind of?
So it's actually, these custom panels. This is from the manufacturer.
But
That makes the fence.
does it have, did the manufacturer give you a list of the materials?
It's the cedar panels and the pine posts.
Are they 6 feet or 8 feet tall?
So that was something that we had talked about
Yeah.
when I came and was asking what you would approve. I mean, so he will build them to whatever specs I need them made to, if I could go a little higher than 6 feet.
I like 6 feet, between 6 and 6.5, I think. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I'd go no more than 6 is kind of my feel.
But understanding that like there's gradations in the land that
Mhm.
you can have wiggle room, that if they're 6'6", no one's gonna yell at you, but anything over 6'6" is too tall.
So you're gonna do the post caps just like that. The panels will be exactly that. Okay, great. Thank you.
Any questions?
Perfect.
I would just like to see a list of materials, like, I know you said a cedar, but like an actual, I mean, when we vote, we might put in as a stipulation that if it gets approved, that you put
I
in,
can forward those.
that
to
you could add that to the files, send it to Susan.
Okay,
Okay,
will do.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks.
thank you. All right. Does anybody in the audience want to speak for this application? Does anybody in the audience want to speak against? All right, HDC 25-0026 is closed. All right. So. Now we're on HDC 25-0030, 3 Elm Street, David Precca. Applicant Amy Nolan, owner.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Alton. I'm with Advanced Construction. I'm proposing second story bedroom with a bathroom. You guys already approved the first 16 by 16 kitchen. We're just putting a bedroom above. We're matching the same roof line as the existing addition. We got cedar siding, Anderson windows to match existing. Anderson 400. This is the approval for the first application. This is the front of the home.
Can you throw it down a little
See
bit?
the.
See the screen there?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
There's an overhead.
push it towards us.
Yeah,
There you go.
Go.
This is the front of home. This is the side of home.
Aren't you still can't see on camera?
Yeah.
So if you can move it to the left hand side.
Use the camera.
Yeah.
That is your reference.
I know it's tricky.
It's like that, yeah. There you go.
Zoom you out a little bit. Thank you.
So this is left side, this is right side of home. This is rear of home. This was the existing 16 by 16 you guys approved last time. And then we're adding 16 by 16 on second story.
And it will just match up.
Will match the same roof line, which is right over here.
Oh, so it's all.
The existing octagon window was here. We're replacing it with new Anderson on this dormer. Same windows. Same side and same corner.
And do you have a list of materials?
I have a list of windows. Anderson's 400 series.
So they're 400 full divided light. Looks like the big ones are 6/1. And then there's a bathroom window that's 4/1. Okay.
That's correct.
Siding is cedar,
Cedar.
matching roof. Trim, corner boards, is that
Centerboard cedar,
cedar? Okay.
5/4.
And window trim, exteriors,
cedar.
cedar, okay. I want to add that. I don't see that.
Do you have that?
I do not have the material list here,
He has,
but I have it in the
See,
application.
he has the proposed material. I just need to- I-
Oh, Siding. And-
Roof uncertainty, granite gray.
Um, and window trim. too.
I have a question. We were talking about the pitch of the roof on the addition. Currently, the pitch isn't correct. It doesn't match the house. Will it be taken off and redone? Was that
The pitch on the
on the back?
backside,
Yeah. Will that be redone? So it matches the rest of the house?
the
or-
rest of the house, yeah.
Okay, it
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
And then the windows as well. I guess currently the Main Street side, there are currently 3 windows. You're showing 2. So will those then be changed up to match the rest of the house? So there's only going to be 2?
There's only gonna be 2 on the sides.
Okay,
I don't
so
have
even
enough-
though there's
I don't-
3.
I don't have enough room to put the third window
Oh, okay. Okay.
because of the bed.
Look at the roof line. It's very high pitch here. This is a low pitch
Okay.
on that. And then this is actually showing 3 windows instead of the 2 that are shown here.
I think they're matching. Can you show that photo right there? So that's how it was, right?
But
Yeah. So that pitch is staying the
It's
same, right?
pitch.
Yeah, so it's
Same
just,
pitch.
it's just
Okay.
extending the pitch
Yeah.
that was there.
It's
So we're
not-
there.
it's
Okay,
not
got it.
changing.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
so you're not touching that section of the house at all?
No,
Say again, because I don't see the shingles.
certainty, granite gray.
Okay. You guys have any?
So I'm a bit confused on aspect, but
So that.
this side.
Yeah.
So there are currently 3 windows. Here, the plan is showing 2 windows. These are very
Oh,
narrow.
okay, I got you. On the south elevation, are there Are there gonna be two upper windows or just one upper window?
Two upper windows.
Two upper windows.
Is
Yeah.
it not pictured on the?
Okay, I got you.
It is
So that matches.
1, 2.
So it's
1,
not,
2.
no, 'cause this is
No.
this side.
Yeah, so the rendering's missing a window.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So this,
So,
this
could-
is missing. the-
Yeah,
Yeah, that's, yeah.
can you
but it's
just
there.
take a pen and just mark?
This one right here?
Yeah, that there's another window.
The doors.
Yep.
Thank you.
Submit that to me.
You want me to give it? to you?
And those,
I need you to initial. what you did next to the window.
see, these are the same size as these. These are consistent, these were not. So the, on that south aspect as well, the window sizes are going to be consistent with the rest of the property, with the rest of the home. That
That's
seems, okay. Those are very narrow now.
Oh. All right, so this looks. It looks like you're still waiting for the, I think this photo was taken
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah, today.
Are you still waiting for the windows to come in?
Yes.
So, okay,
So,
so
yeah.
yeah, I think they'll probably cut
Cut
the,
that.
yeah,
Want to confirm that. We are.
yeah, because we're seeing the zip board
Yeah.
that's showing
Okay,
through.
they're gonna
Okay,
come in.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
okay, gotcha.
Not my pen.
Oh, sorry. I had
Okay.
one.
Yeah, I'm good.
Mhm, I'm good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Have a
you.
good night.
All right, would anyone in the audience like to speak for this application? Would anyone in the audience like to speak against this application? All right, HDC 25-0030 is closed. All right. At this point, I'd like to seat John Goodrich as a full member. Just so we have 4 people. All right. Yeah. HDC 25-0032 12 Water Street. Yep.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mantas Loreckis. I'm the owner operator of Danger Bar LLC. Today, I'm here to represent and ask for the permission to change the directory sign of the Factory Square building, which is 12 Water Street, and to raise the Factory Square sign 15 inches and put my sign for my business underneath the Factory Square. So I'm just going to start off where the property is located. It's 12 Water Street. It's a 60,000 square foot commercial building, also known as a Factory Square. So this is a picture of pre-existing directory. So we have all the businesses apart my business that I would like to add on to this directory. And this is a clear picture of what I'm trying to propose and ask for the permission. So we would raise 15 inches the Factory Square directory sign. We'll reattach it and we'll add a 1 feet by 5 feet Danger Bar sign with its logo. So the logo will be it will be equivalent to the sign, and we'll just put it underneath. It will be a PVC sign made by a company out of Waterford. And this is the letter from the owner that they are okay with that. You can zoom in or you can take a picture. And this is just the sign with the with 12 inches and 60 inches of the dimensions.
Good.
Can I just have the letter? Or
Yeah.
do you need the, everything else is good?
No questions.
questions.
No questions.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody in the audience want to speak for this application? Oh.
Well, my dad.
All right, I think that tipped the scales. Anyone want to speak against the application? All right, HDC 25-0032. I think that made my day. It is now closed. Okay, now we're on HDC 25-0033. This is 200 Cliff Street.
Gentlemen.
Hi there.
I'm Kate Shea with Mercer Birchie Burnett Architects. I am here on behalf of Les Olin, who owns 200 Cliff Street. We are doing a small addition to the north side of his home. And photo A location is pretty helpful, pointing out that he's standing where the new addition corner would be, which is pretty hard to see from the street, but regardless, you still see a tiny portion of it, so that's why we're here. We have the west neighbors 240 and 220 Cliff Street. And then the eastern neighbors, which are 190 Cliff Street and 329 High Street. And just our floor plans, just showing the new addition, and I will go through all the details of the materials and everything in a moment, I promise. But it's just a simple expansion of an existing rear addition regardless. Just a 3D to kind of show you guys what's going on. The existing addition ends right about here, and so we're just kind of infilling. Now for the importance depth. So we are adding on asphalt shingles to match the existing that is on the house. We're doing 4-inch cedar clapboards primed and painted again to match existing. We have updated some of our trim detail notes just to be 6-inch boral or Akoya corner boards and such to be primed and painted to match existing. We have Anderson 400 series windows that we'll be reusing. They have currently vinyl shutters and they will be taken off and replaced and put back on. Not replaced, just reinstalled. Reinstalled, sorry. And then we have 6-inch boral or Akoya skirt board that we primed and painted to match existing and a concrete foundation. And then over on the west elevation, it's just explaining that we have a 10-inch boral or Akoya rake board that will be primed and painted to again match existing. And the 4-inch boral or Akoya casing primed and painted to match existing. And we have he has like specific rake rafter details that we will be replicating on the addition to continue everything that's been going on. And that is what we're doing. If you guys have any questions,
I'm just not,
that's okay.
I'm not seeing the material.
Oh, it's on the elevation sheet.
Oh, okay, okay.
Would you guys prefer like an actual like material list going forward?
It helps.
No,
Yeah.
that's fine. No,
That's why I keep missing these.
Okay,
Because
so
I'm
that's
like- I'm
fine.
looking for like,
yeah,
I use the examples, something,
Yeah.
a sheet from Home Depot that just
Absolutely.
says that's,
no, we can definitely start moving forward
Yeah.
and do that if that's easier for you guys. Fine by me.
you have it here, it's fine.
Yeah. Perfect.
All right. You guys have any questions?
No questions.
Okay. All right, great.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody in the audience want to speak for HDC 25-0033? Does anyone want to speak out against HDC 25-0? All right, HDC 25-0033 is closed. HDC 25-0034, 273 High Street.
The house is very detailed. Hello,
Hi.
I'm Sarah with Armstrong Chimney. I'm one of the owners. My husband is Josh, so that's what that name is on there.
You got it.
Okay. All right, this is just a map of 273 High Street. So we're representing, this is Kara Hess's house. And we are installing 2 stainless steel liners.
This is kind of just the prospect of like what we gave her that she's already signed and agreed to.
2 stainless steel liners for gas inserts into a fireplace. And in order to do that, we have to install this air intake cap on top. I'll show you kind of an example of, this is what it looks like right now, the stone top. And then this is just an example of another one that we had done out in Old Lines of like what it's gonna look like after. This is like a high wind air intake cap for the gas unit that's going in. So that's kind of what it would look like in the end, but this is where hers looks like right now. So that's kind of the, I guess the whole reason why we're here is for that cap, so I'll let you know.
So
It's just required by code to, it brings in the clean air for the gas unit. Like this guy right here, his unit wouldn't be able to run without it, and she would like that installed into her fireplace, the gas unit.
so what you're going to, that'll be on top of,
On top of the
Hers?
stone, yes, yeah, like we would keep this is hers. And it would just be sitting, yeah, on,
You're just making a hole in
On
the
top.
stone, putting that. to
yes,
connect, yeah.
yes, exactly, yeah. So that's what it would ultimately look like. Maybe her chip is a little bit smaller.
Gotta go
It-
somewhere.
it's not-
Gotta go somewhere to
no,
make
no,
it
no,
work.
It's not attractive, but I have to say, almost every other house in
Yeah.
that neighborhood right there have.
okay,
I see it on a lot of homes.
They're
Yeah, I mean, it's
literally
definitely not
across the
the
street next
nicest
door.
thing,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's definitely just
It's not-
required by
No,
code for it to
and
run
again, that's where,
properly.
that's where I'm shooting from.
And I'm not gonna say this, do we allow solar panels on people's roofs? And I don't think that is any more offensive
Yeah,
or
no,
less
and
offensive.
again, I'm just,
I mean, a decorative cap would have been nicer,
Right.
but that is what it is. It's more.
and
It's part of, yeah, it's like part of the gas units for it to run properly. It's definitely not. Yeah. Like,
no,
Here you go, business idea.
I agree with you for sure.
I'm just thinking historic district,
Yeah,
but I
Um,
hear whatever you say, don't misunderstand. I shoot from the hip reaction, it's like.
They can make a cast iron bronze.
I was gonna say,
A nice terracotta cap.
I was gonna say.
Something.
Yeah, well,
I mean, we could powder coat it in a color. I don't know, it's just gonna be stainless steel, but we can powder coat it if that is.
I think the ones in the
like
neighborhood
better.
actually are black. There's a couple that are black. in the
Yeah, we
neighborhood.
could powder coat it black. if-
I mean, again, I hear what everyone's saying, it's a necessary aspect, but there's a way we could make it blend in with, or just not disappear physically, but.
I mean, I agree. If we can make it black, I think it's gonna make it less.
So black,
Yeah.
okay, yeah,
Or a bronze or something that's more fitting to.
yeah, I wish I had like the chart of the colors, but, yeah, there's many different colors, but if you're preferring black, we can definitely powder coat it and, do black.
I mean, I'd say black
There's
or
like a-
bronze would be good.
Yeah, there's like a bronze and a couple different, I can send those over to you as well, if you want like the powder coat chart to see the different colors. Can email that.
You don't normally provide advice on color of things.
I don't know.
Correct,
Oh, okay,
right.
So
okay, sorry, so,
I
just
yeah, you
wanna-
tell me.
No, you.
Is there anything wrong with us suggesting a color that they ultimately choose from?
No, there's nothing wrong with engaging in that
Yeah,
discussion.
I mean.
If
what
she
you
has
decide-
her heart set on stainless steel and
if
the
you
owner
do
does,
stainless steel,
then
It's not gonna be the.
Oh,
end of the
okay,
world,
I just said, yeah, I
but
didn't know
that's
if you guys,
Our opinion
okay,
is, we would love it
in a different
in a
color,
different color. but
Okay.
what
but the
we
stainless
do
steel is
not mandate
suitable.
Color, like people can put purple siding on their
Oh, okay,
houses.
okay,
That's. It's,
But yeah, the preference would be something that would blend.
What's the approximate height of that? Like 15 inches, 2 feet? Do you know?
About 2 feet. I can call my.
There's-
Can someone-
2 to 3.
For the liner, the two. I can make a quick phone call and get an exact height.
Inside.
No, I think.
The only thing I feel like, what is the material of, I mean, it's just everything stainless.
Everything stainless steel, yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's about 2 feet from what I can remember for this one. Specifically, but I can get a specific height for you.
So the height is roughly. 2 feet.
Roughly 2 feet.
Good.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
Anyone in the audience want to speak for this application? Does anyone in the audience want to speak against this? Good over there?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, I just,
Up late last night,
yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure you're.
actually all night.
Okay. HDC 25-0034 is closed. HDC 25-0035 One Water Street. Peters.
Good evening, Peter Springsteel, architect, representing Blue Turtle LLC, the owner of One Water Street. Can you hear me okay? This is like round 67 on that. And in the last couple of iterations here, we've come up against a bunch of no's. DOT does not want us in the right of way at all. So we're now behind the property line right here. This is Water Street.
Would you mind sliding that a little better so I can see the?
I can see.
Part of that
Toward the
other one. Yep,
microphone,
thank
yeah.
you.
And then the Town of Groton Department of Public Works doesn't want the sidewalk dug up or anything sort of permanent placed there. They have an easement right up to the front of the building, because I guess there's critical infrastructure in this area, so they want the ability to get in there quickly and fix things if they have to. So really what we're left with here is just furnishings and planters. So all this stuff can be moved and relocated. We're proposing a couple of bistro tables right up against the building wall here. And then planters and a bench built into the planters. And I've got some images here.
That's a good quick question. If they're movable, are they considered temporary or at least?
But they'd have to be moved every 30 days.
Yeah,
To be
yeah,
temporary. They probably don't want to move.
Well, I'm assuming the
They're
bistro
going
tables
to
will come
leave them there on a
inside, so it
permanent
won't be-
basis.
It's a good question.
It will be absconded.
There
with,
was
so
something I saw. Well,
Just
this
curious,
is,
that's all.
Yeah, no, that was
Um,
through my brain as well.
anchored sidewalk furniture. I don't think this is anchored.
I don't think
Um,
so either.
Routinely placed items like mailboxes, newsstands, and similar sidewalk fixtures.
Planters are not in your jurisdiction.
I mean, is it a similar, would that be a similar sidewalk fixture, a planter?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Bill. There's plans over town that we've never talked about. I mean, I want to do the right thing for you guys, but.
Hmm.
I mean, again, I'm not running the restaurant. I'm assuming those tables are gonna come in on a regular basis.
I agree.
Yeah, they're not gonna be out there in the winter probably.
I'm assuming even in the summer, you know, you don't want the
Yeah, I'm
A
not,
happy crowd to
I
walk
don't think
with,
I'm really
anything,
looking for
so.
approval of the bistro tables and the chairs, but it's more the planters
Okay.
and the
Yeah, seeing the
bench.
picture of the planters. No, I think it'd be good to.
No, and I just, that was my question, is
I
the
th-
tables weren't gonna be permanent. like,
Right,
some more-
Yeah.
Right,
More or less permanent.
Correct.
Unless the town needs to dig up the sidewalk to
that's right,
look for a pipe that's.
correct. Yeah,
So
so they'll be there.
There is a planning and zoning aspect of this they have approved that with a location specific.
Then I guess
For
we
their reasons.
look at it for style and if they're,
Yeah, planning and zoning are gonna do an administrative approval.
Right.
Which they haven't really done, but they've looked at it and they said, yeah, this is.
Right,
yeah.
David's talked to me about it.
Okay.
And yes, but that's going to be their approach to that is they.
Correct.
All right, I think this is going to meet, the reason they're doing this is because they have to meet, the public portion of their zoning application, the
There's
public
landscape.
access. Oh, yeah, landscape.
requirements.
retreat.
You gotta have a tree.
so you still have to plant the tree
They're not planting the tree, it's gotta be in a planter.
in a planter. Okay.
Can't disrupt the sidewalk.
That's why I asked, is what you
Yeah.
said, I was trying to.
Nice.
I should let him just do his presentation. but-
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, my bad.
So we're
Connecticut,
also
remember
here
since-
for a front door, a full view French door on the commercial business side of the building. The existing door looks like the 9-light
Mhm.
door that's right here.
You brought that up in previous.
I brought it up informally. This is the formal application, and we're also looking to do the awning, which you can see in these photos or photoreal images. Now, the one I think you got over there is the non-preferred one. This one's a little bit more about what they want. These two different views, I think of that same thing.
Oh. Much better.
And Peter, am I correct in thinking that the awning doesn't come out
From
past
this.
planners?
Yeah,
I
there-
just-
you can see it in the plan here. It's the dash line
Okay.
comes out 4.5 feet or so.
Then the planners are how many feet out?
Planters are about, let's see, it's 4.5 feet to the edge of the planter, and then it's on the diagonal.
Right. Got it.
Yeah.
You want something that's more fixed?
No.
That's a motor, I assume.
Right.
Mhm.
It's a motorized awning.
Yeah, it looks that way. I didn't ask them, but that's what it looks like. Yeah.
I'm saying, right, so I'm selling it.
There's other awnings obviously throughout the town, so it's not like.
They've got a little bit more of a contemporary thing going on.
Okay, thank you.
In both the awning and the seating
That's the one thing.
and the planters.
Scheme, everything very modern. Doesn't really fit in. This doesn't really fit in with
We're not
this.
necessarily
That's
trying
fine.
to be historic here.
Yeah, no, I'm not seeing that. I mean.
That's more of
Yeah,
this.
keep all
Right.
that.
They have this all built.
Give them the scalp recipe and it's just.
It's so modern.
It is modern.
It's very modern.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
yeah,
But it is very modern and a historic.
right. That's what I'm not taking anything away from the
No, design.
physical design, but.
I think in my view, you have to look at these things as whether it's good design or poor design, not that it fits in with the historic era of the historic district, especially when it's something new. We're working with an old building, then I think you need to take the approach of, yes, we want this to be historically accurate, but when you're doing new things, I think you should look at it as though they're new things and they're not trying to be historic things. And that you should be looking at good design.
I don't know. I wouldn't put a bench that was modern out there.
Okay,
And I don't necessarily agree with that either.
I
Okay.
agree with that.
All right, I'm just trying to sell it.
Yeah.
You know about selling.
Yeah, I do, I was gonna say.
No, I mean,
I think part of the charm of Mystic is that it's got that charm. It's
So-
little-
I think this is too modern. I think.
I would like this at my house. In
I
the
know,
back, right?
yeah.
But on that corner,
Are you saying you'd rather see one of the traditional looking benches that we have here and there around downtown? Well, actually, you know, the benches in the streetscape are not historic looking, right?
No.
Take a look
no,
at those.
Those are big granite slabs with,
Those are very
kind of teak,
contemporary.
you know, it's very contemporary, so.
And that's what I mean about
But
new
it's
things.
also a little more in keeping with the area. You've got granite, you've got
Yeah.
teak. It
Would
takes
you-
with the language of the area. I mean, this looks like something that I would have had in California, to be very frank with you.
Would you rather have one of those, one of the streetscape benches?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Personally.
I mean, I don't think it has to match. I don't think it needs
Right.
to be old style.
right.
This is very Miami, very
Thank you.
California.
Very California.
It's just stunning. The teak, the stone, everything is beautiful, but
And I think we need to keep in mind for the, you know, the bit of the town, I wouldn't want to put anything granite there in case they have to. I mean, now you're public works gonna have to move a
Good point.
1,000-pound piece of stone to get to a broken pipe. I mean, it's,
Yeah,
and I'll be honest, the awning, and again, maybe
Mhm.
just the drawing, it all seems very out of touch with downtown. I'd like to be a
Mhm.
little more
Okay,
in keeping
what the
personally.
traditional,
That's my
yeah.
personal feeling.
okay.
But it is, I mean, it's gorgeous. I won't take that,
Okay.
away, but just, I don't think it.
design aside.
So can you give me approval on the door?
Door, I like the door.
I like the door.
The number of lights down.
That's the important thing tonight, actually, is the door. They want to get that changed out because right now the door sort of doesn't invite people in. But the other stuff I can come back with a.
Now, were you gonna match it on the other side or leave it different so that there's like a,
So.
We're trying to delineate, that's the apartment
Right.
door,
that makes sense.
that's the public door, yeah.
I think the door is gorgeous. I think it matches the rest of the
No problem
window.
with the door. personally.
Door's good.
All right, so we're gonna amend this.
Do you want to withdraw the public amenity portion
Sure,
and the awning?
if that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
But could I come back next meeting if I withdraw?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, you can come back under the same application. You
okay,
can just withdraw those for tonight's consideration.
okay. Sounds like a plan.
So withdrawing awning and public seating. And pointers. Aspect.
Well, you did look at this one, actually, before we,
Oh,
did this
yeah.
one,
this is. more
yes,
traditional.
that one.
Another view, less of a problem.
And
This definitely keeps more with the clapboard, the feel of town.
and that's a bench in the middle.
yeah, yeah. It's hard to
Yeah,
tell.
that one, I don't mind at all.
I don't either.
Mind that one.
Do you want me to come back with that with a little bit more detail about the material and all that? Okay.
What do you
all right.
guys feel about the awning? You guys okay with the awning?
I'm personally fine with awning.
I'm okay with the awning, but it'd be good if you guys have questions, I think an actual cut sheet or from the manufacturer, just so we could see.
Okay.
What's your feeling, of the awning? I'm just wondering how.
I like the old school.
Yeah, I did
awnings.
too. I'm wondering if he will.
Well, I'll go back to the owner and so
Okay.
tell him what you said.
Just like,
Oh.
because there's obviously awnings on. Main Street.
Or a little different than that one, yeah. Yeah, I get it. Okay,
Huh?
Alright, so I'll give you these back.
okay,
I'm gonna keep this because it has the picture of the
door,
the door.
okay.
And do we have a spec on that door? Yeah.
I think it's on the drawing.
Marvin Ultimate
Perfect.
Outswing aluminum clad French door simulated divided lights.
Perfect.
Yep.
Alright.
You want this drawing? Or you got it?
Yeah, this is good.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Peter.
Good, thank you.
Right. Does anyone in the audience want to speak for this application? Anyone in the audience want to speak against? HDC 25-0035 is closed. All right. One more. Are they here?
It's me.
Oh,
yeah, that's right, that's right.
That's right, that's.
Okay.
That's right. The sensors. Okay. All right, this is HDC 25-0036.
Man, Megan looks so much different.
That's what I was looking for.
This is not a good picture at all of this, but did you guys have, did she
Yeah.
include pictures in here?
You got it.
Okay, so that's better. That's actually a better picture. Tim Brennan, I'm representing the Office of Planning and Development Services, specifically Megan Granato, who is the Sustainability and Resiliency Manager. She is collaborating with UConn for a climate study. And part of the climate study, they are throughout town, all over town, they're placing, they're actually heat sensors. And they're going to collect heat data from July to November and compare it in different areas of town. The one area that they identified as the spot they want to place it is in downtown Mystic. They have not identified a specific pole, which you can see these are actually pole mounted, but they did identify an area in the area of Water Street and West Main, somewhere in that little plaza area. It'll sit about 8 feet in the air. It's about 5 inches wide, 7 inches long. It gets mounted just with a couple of clamps, no permanent, nothing permanent at all. It'll come down in November and the data will be collected out of it.
Cool. One question for me is, all the pictures you have here are a light gray or white? Does this come in additional colors, black, something like that, that would match the pole that was going on?
That I do have, I don't have any idea.
It's not a big deal. No, okay.
If it would be of consideration, I can mention that if they can try to color match the pole it's going to and somehow camouflage it, I would certainly pass that along as a consideration of the commission.
Yeah, just a suggestion.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Obviously.
It's great.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Anybody in the audience want to speak for this application? Anyone in the audience want to speak against? Yeah.
Does HTC even apply to that? Does that have utility on a pole?
We discussed that in pre-app and they thought it would be best to just do an application on it. So the public was aware of what was going on, and if there were questions as to what it was, there was a process that approved the installation of it.
Well, but again, is there anything in our regulations that you approve streetlights or?
Yeah.
Telephone company comes through and hangs things on poles and stuff?
Yeah, solar panels, wind powered energy devices, satellite dishes, ham radios, specialized antennas.
That's,
So-
I think, they kind of
Yeah.
fell under the specialized antenna. They thought
Yeah.
that it kind of rose to that.
But it's on public utilities.
It's hasn't been identified if it's going to be on public utility yet, or if it's going to be on a lamp post or whatever. The exact location has not been identified. It is arguable that if it is on a pole, on an actual Eversource or telephone pole, it would be considered utility infrastructure, and we wouldn't have any regulation over it.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
But then people come to us on the signs that hang on the poles, so I think it's.
And for us, it was more, we wanted the public to be aware, the public to be
But it's out of your,
It-
if
it
it's out
could-
of your
it could-
jurisdiction, then.
correct, but it could be within our jurisdiction at the same time.
The exact location hadn't been identified. They're still trying to figure out, they want them certain distances from each other, and there's certain criteria that they want to meet as far as exposure and things like that, so they have not identified a pole that's going to be on yet.
Right.
But thank you for asking that. That's something I did talk to them about too, as well as.
Yeah.
I actually told them that if they met any opposition with the
Right,
commission,
so
that would be our approach.
Yeah, no, sometimes it's just better to.
Yeah,
Any other comments on, anyone want to speak against HDC 25-0036, the heat sensor? All right, HDC 25-0036 is closed. So that will close the public hearing portion of the evening. We'll now go to considerations and we'll start with Cheryl Bellews, who was continued from last week. She was,
I think I had given you the wrong address on that, but it wasn't,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
West
no, I
Mystic.
have
It
it.
wasn't, okay.
yeah, I
Thanks.
got it
My
now.
apologies on that.
No worries. So here's the materials list. Does anybody have any thoughts? Motions?
So I'll make, Moriarty makes a motion to approve, fence up to 6.5 feet. And you said the materials list is in there,
Says
6 foot.
eight cedar panel, 65 inches across the back with pressure treated pine post, 1 cedar panel on north side of yard with pressure treated pine posts.
Okay. So that's my motion. Moriarty makes a motion to approve, as applied up to 6.5 feet.
Kohler seconds.
Discussion? All right, we'll take a vote.
Since I wasn't here, Goodrich is gonna abstain.
Ferguson, I.
Moriarty, aye.
Kohler, aye.
All right, HDC 25-0026 is approved. Just putting in the stipulation, fence not to exceed 6.5 feet. at any point. Great. HDC 25-0030, 3 Elm Street. This is the second story. This is David Preka's gentleman, 2 guys.
Mhm.
The- Anybody want to make a motion?
Moriarty makes a motion to approve.
All right, Ferguson second. Discussion? Okay, we'll take a vote.
Again, since I missed the presentation, I'm gonna abstain, Goodrich.
Ferguson, I.
Moriarty, aye.
Kohler, aye.
All right, HDC 25-0030 is approved. Sorry, I'm just adding notes for Susan. All right, HDC 25-0032. This is Montes' sign being added to the factory square. Any motions?
Goodrich makes a motion to approve.
Kohler seconds.
All right, any discussion? Pretty
Yeah.
straightforward. All right, take a vote.
Well, based on the recommendation, of the young man, I'll vote yes.
All right, Ferguson, yes.
Moriarty, yes.
Kohler, yes.
All right, HDC 25-0032 is approved.
Thank you.
Good job, guys.
Good job.
Hey, thank you.
All right. All right, now we're on HDC 25 -0033. This is the addition to 200 Cliff Street.
Moriarty makes a motion to approve.
Goodrich second.
Any discussion on it? Very
That's nice.
straightforward.
Yeah. It's nice that they're reusing the windows and.
Yeah. right, take a vote.
Goodrich, aye.
Ferguson, I.
Moriarty, aye.
Kohler, aye.
All right, HDC 25-0033 is approved. All right, HDC 25-0034. This is the High Street chimney cap. We made the comment that, you know, whatever color she chooses is fine, but we would love it to be black or bronze. All materials are stainless steel and the height's gonna be 2 feet. Any motions on this one?
Kohler moves to accept the cap, chimney cap, and preferably in a black or bronze, but not necessary.
Goodrich, second.
All right, well, discussion. All right, vote.
Goodrich, aye.
Ferguson, I.
Moriarty, aye.
Kohler, aye.
Right, HDC 25-0034 is approved. Okay, next, we're at HDC 25-0035. This is just for the door, just for the basically clear panel with the so withdrawing the awning and public seating and planters aspect of the application. So this application is only for the new front door.
I would
Okay.
probably identify it as a partial approval. If that's. Somebody's going to make a motion to approve, I would identify it as a partial approval. Because he's gonna come back for other portions of
Okay.
the application.
Oh, I gotcha.
So Goodrich makes it a motion to partially approve the application just for the door at this time. As
Mori-
presented on the application.
Kohler seconds.
All right, discussion. All right, vote.
Goodrich, aye.
Ferguson, I.
Moriarty, aye.
Kohler, aye.
Right. So your door is approved. All right, now we're on HDC 25-0036. Oh, that's funny. I didn't realize you wrote 0 West Main Street.
I.
No, that's, this is for obviously the heat sensor.
So I'll make a motion to approve installation of up to 2 sensors anywhere in historic district. I think maybe with the request that you just communicate via old business where they eventually go up,
You do
just so
that.
we know.
Certainly.
And also try and match it to the pole color if possible.
I'll talk to her about trying to camouflage it.
Yeah.
I think if you just, speak to the fact that they even came to you guys and considered your thoughts on it, kind of
Yeah.
speaks to their approach to they want to do what needs to be done.
I need a second on that motion.
Kohler seconds.
Right, any discussion? All right, go to a vote.
Goodrich, aye.
Ferguson, I.
Moriarty, aye.
Kohler, aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right.
Minutes.
HDC 25-0036 is approved.
Pre-app sheet, don't go home with it.
I won't, that's how much I love this job. I take the I took the
Is there someone online?
No, it's just 2 people.
See 3.
Oh,
It's 3, but they haven't raised their hand or requested any kind of input, so
Okay.
that's what I've seen. I've kind of been watching out of the corner, man.
Okay, so, since we don't have to make motions for these anymore, right? That was. All right, so we'll start with Rob.
Hi, I'm Rob Welch. And this is unusual because I'm in Center Groton. We have a church there at Wells Street. I mean, on Candlewood, 171 Candlewood, called Wellspring Bible Fellowship. And we started this project trying to find out what we have to do. January 24th, 21.
Oh,
Okay,
All right.
so
Better
we have been
journey.
trying to do this for a while. You can have pictures.
Thank you.
What is it? It's a historic church. We've had multiple expenses.
If you want to just try to swing
Yes,
this into
yeah.
the, yeah, there you go.
Oh, I'm upside down, sorry. Multiple expenses, and so we rebuilt the steeple. We had to fix a lot of the siding because it was broken, and there's only 45 of us there. 90% of us are over 70. So we have been trying to maintain the building, but the front door is falling apart. The front door is rotted. You can put your hand through it if you want. And so we would like to replace the front door. The problem is, it has a curve on the top, 5-inch curve, cost me $27,923 to replace instead of $6,000 to put in a rectangular door. That's a lot of money for us. And so I don't know. The thought we had was we can paint it blue and go straight across and put in a rectangular door. Is that anything that's ever allowed? I mean, I can't board it up. I have to pretty soon, but then the fire marshal says I don't have 2 egresses and I can't use the building anymore. And so I'm looking for any input you can give me, because I don't know what to do. I often came to the front desk here. They said, you got to go to Hartford. We went to Hartford and the answer was, you're not a historic building as far as we're not in the national registry and they don't care. So I came back here almost every 6 months and I happened to run into Tim. He happened to be there. And they said I could come and at least get some kind of advice.
I made a recommendation that he come. So it's been clear that his attempt in Hartford, they don't want to hear nothing up there. And so I explained to him that you guys may or may not want to hear it based on the fact that it's outside of the district, although it's still in a historic zone in town. So the kind of the first part of it was whether or not you guys even want to hear it as an application, given where it is, because I know sometimes those outlier districts you guys don't handle or don't review applications in. And then the second portion of it is if you do want to, then kind of work out with the gentleman what would be accepted from the commission.
So I'd like to make 2 comments.
Yeah, whatever.
Candlewood's actually a really cool street. It's got history going back to the pre-revolution.
Oh, I agree.
I mean,
That's why we try and
The
keep the
Doble
building the way
House
it is.
is famous. It's right down the road from him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna switch hats right now with you real quick, and I might give you my information if this is okay. So I'm a trustee for Preservation Connecticut.
Okay.
There's actually a grant program that we could probably get you involved in to cover the expense. I don't know if we can do the door, but all these other expenses that you're dealing with.
Well, I've already done those.
What
That's
year's
the
well,
problem.
but you don't know what's gonna come up, Bill. What year's the church
That's
bill?
true. Right, that's true.
What year was the church bill?
Oh, I don't know, 17 something.
Perfect. I'm gonna have a meeting June 5th. Is it okay for me to give him my information? I'll see about getting you a grant for the door afterward. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. That would be great. I can't believe I have to order a custom door. But, and then we put either the trim on or they put it on, it's paintable. That's not the hard part. But it really, a custom door, and the longer we wait, the more the framing's starting to rot out, and then we got that much more expense. And
So for the audience, may want to say something?
87, 88 inches. How wide is it? 52. There were 2. One, Advance was one of them. Okay. And Anderson was the other.
So if you go to Rains End, you ask for Eddie, who's the manager in East Line. And you ask for an upstate door to make you a custom door, and a paintable door.
Yeah.
The door is probably about $9,000
Really?
for a fully wood
In like a poplar or
upstate door company.
Yeah.
Or mahogany paint grade.
paint grade,
And you
yeah.
said it's Eddie and
Ask for Eddie Aviati at Rings End in Niantic and ask him to quote an upstate from Upstate Door Company. And it'll be a third of what you got quoted.
I thought we asked, my son is Andy Rock when he goes to England. I'll check.
I would check that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Upstate Door Company, okay, all right. I mean, I'm not opposed to doing it and we'll.
Like I said, wait till the end of the meeting. I'll give you my name and number and we'll see if I can do some grant money.
Yeah.
I personally don't feel like we have a say or any, I appreciate the fact that you want to hear.
Well, we put in windows and the old manual, I've lived in the historic district now. Majority of the 50-some years I've lived here. And the manual says windows you don't have to worry about to replace and doors. But I assume that means if they match, not you're gonna change the door. So is that true of historic district?
Well, that would be if
No,
you
I'm
were,
talking about Mystic.
if you were going to replace that door in exact like for like,
Yeah, then I don't,
you wouldn't even hear
have
him
to
from.
say
I wouldn't have, okay.
Center Groton, Burnett's Corners aren't our jurisdiction. I thought they were. Am I wrong?
Well, the only reason I got here, because he was nice enough to say.
There's
"Why don't you come by?"
there's pieces of it that are, it's.
Right, but doesn't he fall into the Center Groton Historic District? I looked this on Candle with that, the old Doble house, and it was, that's why I'm curious. He's right
Yeah,
down the road.
the church is, I
Okay.
believe, on one of the parcels, yeah.
Right.
Oh, it
It's
is.
under
not
our
ours.
purview, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, in that case, I mean.
But again, if
think
you-
But if I do the
think you
same
got-
door, then I'm okay.
Yeah.
And if I can get the door for a lot less than $27,923.
Yeah, I'll give you my contact if you can order it on my account.
No, I'm not gonna order that here.
I gotta pay for it.
Give me a date. That's fine.
Yes, this is.
So I actually learned something, so thank you. I mean, it's been a little frustrating.
I'm sorry. What, it's only been 4 years, Rob. What are you frustrated about?
I mean, the church has been there for 300, what's 4 years, right?
Okay, so I don't think
Next
we need to
up.
make a, yeah.
I think
motion
we
or
gotta
anything.
take care of
It's only
All
three
right,
up.
Peter to Eldridge Street. There's two. I'll post this over them. All right.
They were here for the door. No, this is the house, this is the house on the water, right? What's it?
Oh,
All right, so 2 Eldridge Street is. This I don't really have I don't have a locus map here, but Park Place. Eldridge Street turns real sharp here. River right here. This is an existing cape. Yes. Sorry. There you go.
Yeah.
Let's start
Go
there.
ahead, you can move that over a little bit, there you go. Perfect, keeping the mic pointing.
We have to get this over here.
You can put anything you want.
No, when one drops from the ceiling like that.
You can do anything you want.
like on the talk show.
Like a talk show, yeah.
Yeah. Or like a ring announcer.
Podcast.
Pictures aren't that great, but this is right down the street from here.
Yep. Caroline.
So they have,
Is this the wind fiber down?
what's that?
The wind fiber still in this house? All right.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah.
But now it's owned by Crowley's.
Oh, okay.
So there's an existing garage right here with it's got a little bedroom on the back of it. And there's an open breezeway that connects the garage with the main house. And what we're proposing to do is essentially rebuild the garage because it's the foundation on the thing is not in great shape. And we're gonna actually add some space above the garage. So these are, I think, the existing elevations. This is facing, choose what I'm looking upside down here. This elevation here is facing the river.
Hmm.
Okay, this is the little bedroom in the back behind the garage. This is the garage. This is the existing house and this is the breezeway. You're only seeing part of the breezeway because the buildings are at an angle to each other. This view is facing Park Place right here. This is facing more towards north towards up Park Place, essentially. So that's the side of the garage, that's the little bedroom in the back. That's the main house beyond. These are the floor plans of the proposed, so the existing breezeway is right here. We're talking about enclosing the breezeway, which we'll show you in a moment. Rebuilding the garage and then adding some additional space to the side. This space is essentially here, but we're rebuilding it in a little bit different configuration. And then there would be second floor space basically built into a roof line.
You say built-in roof line, is a roof line going up from the existing garage?
Yeah, a little bit. So this view here is from the river. So you're looking at the back of the addition. This is the second floor space built into the roof line right here. So we're sticking with all Cape roofs on this whole thing. So this is the public view from the river. This is the enclosed breezeway from the river. This is the existing main house where there'll be really no changes. This is another view. This is more head on to the main house. I'm confused here. Okay, so this is this.
Right.
This is this, and then you're seeing the skewed angle view of the cable end of that. Then our view from Park Place again. So right now, the breezeway does have these arch top elements built into the breezeway. So we're just infilling them with now windows and doors. This is the new garage front onto Park Place, same kind of two garage doors. This window would be up in the second floor bedroom space. This is in the bump out, the new addition to the side, to the north side of the garage. Then this view here, this is the side view of the addition to the north. So those are in a first floor area. This is in a attic area, essentially. There's no living space right there. So we're trying to sort of match the vocabulary of the building with the same detailing on the rakes, similar pitches, similar clapboard siding, similar roofing. Fence is already there. That's an existing element. So that's what we're trying to do.
So the roof line is still lower.
Sorry.
The roof line's still lower than the main house.
Yeah, that we intentionally tried to keep this lower, but
Yeah.
still be able to get some living space in there. We are in a flood zone. We went through all that with Tim the other day. So there will be flood vents in this lower level. We'll try to hide those as best we can. But they sit down real low to the ground.
The new garage, is that on the same exact footprint as the existing? Or are we bringing it forward or are we?
It's right now, it's non-conforming in the front yard setback.
Yep.
So we can't come forward. So we're sitting on that same footprint.
Okay.
Because it's all non-conforming in the front.
Okay.
I see the view from the river again, how the new. Yeah.
Was there a comment there in here?
I'm just, no, I'm just looking at it, Peter. I mean, it's not the massing on that picture doesn't feel right to me.
Is it the windows? Is it?
I think it's the windows and the bump out.
Yeah, I
mean,
agree.
With the bump out?
Where it's, so window heavy where the rest of the house isn't. It
Right,
definitely looks like a new addition. It doesn't, if you look at the old house, you have separate windows, you have this nice uniformity.
right. And to me, not only does it look like a new addition, almost looks like a different style. Right, maybe that's unfair from the drawings, but they're just, that's why I want to see it again, Peter, the first thing should just. Something about the massing doesn't feel right,
Mhm.
it feels,
Is it the bump out? Because the massing is,
I think it's the bump out, I think
Okay.
it's the windows, it doesn't have a
so
sense of
fewer,
flow to
fewer
me.
windows,
Mhm.
no bump out, maybe.
Yep.
Bump out kind of made it all work, I think. But, so. Let's see.
Where's the bump out on that previous page that just?
There we go.
I don't even think you see them. Bump out from.
River.
The river. Oh, the river.
Yep.
Right.
And you went for
But
the.
you must have a.
It is,
You actually would.
I don't have a boat, so I would never see those.
it is tucked in there,
I
but
actually
yeah,
think you could. Down
it
on
is a river view.
gravel as well.
So, and
So
I
you
understand
pull this
the
back.
garage now is probably built, obviously in the 50s, but it has that feel of a cape that's been added onto, that's kind of normal.
Hmm.
And, you know, it just something about that addition doesn't. It kind of slaps me in the face a
You're
little
talking
bit.
about the back,
Yeah,
not,
the
not the
river-
Park Place.
The park place, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm talking about the riverside.
Okay.
There.
Well, we could certainly reduce the fenestration. We could probably eliminate that bump out in this bedroom might still work. Could be a little smaller, but probably still work.
Is there another option also? I hate to bring this up and you guys know I'm gonna talk about this probably. The breezeway. I'm not
Mhm.
a huge fan of enclosed breezeways
Mhm.
between buildings. It just, to me, does
Mm-hmm.
not seem historic at all.
Mhm.
This, I think you did a really nice job. I've seen some in the past that it's a little modern. It seems pretty okay. Are there other options to enclosing breezeways? That, I mean, I guess it's there now.
Yeah, the breezeway roof is there now, yeah. But other options for enclosing it?
Yeah, or I don't know. I guess,
I love
and you like it, but
I-
also the arches actually are, I mean, it's the only place on the entire property that you actually have this arch.
Right.
But those put into it,
Yeah.
which to me, yeah, it also once again seems like an addition.
Well, it was an addition.
Well, no, I know. I mean, but
And at this point, it might be, historic from the 50s or 60s, whenever it was built.
yeah,
Is it,
So that's the way buildings in the historic
But
district
they,
developed,
like-
they applied the style of the time.
sure.
Maybe
No, I
just-
get it. I
are
get it.
they really want the breezeway enclosed?
Well, the living space above the garage really then becomes this, you gotta go out in the rain and snow
Yeah,
and cold
fair.
to get to their
Master.
bedroom.
Well, what about just,
Oh,
I mean,
thought it was like
I can be swayed definitely on that, but the arches, I'm not a huge fan of the arches. Would they possibly consider just squaring those up, making
Yeah,
them
I
more,
certainly suggest that to them.
okay.
And what you say, Peter, you have these buildings developed over time,
Yeah.
you know. That's a colonial cape and it started as a box, they added a summer kitchen,
Yeah.
and I kind of like that feel.
Yeah,
But again, not to beat up on, it's just the river part of it, it does not, it feels.
no, I hear you on that. No problem. All right, so what I'm gathering is you don't like the golden arches, I want to square those off.
Get fries with this addition.
We're gonna work on the back towards the river. And try to lessen the impact of that, I guess. More temporary impact, try to knock that down a little bit. One other idea I had is maybe we can lower the roof on the addition piece, this piece here. There's really just attic in there, so maybe if we drop that down a little bit, that whole piece. Might lessen the impact of that structure. So that's what I heard.
And
think that'd be
the
good.
windows, I don't know if you've already said that, but
Yeah.
just less than
On the water.
on the water side.
on the
Which I
water.
get, they're on the water, they want to see the water, and I
Yeah.
get, you know, that's probably one of the reasons they made sure to buy the house, but it's
Yeah.
something that feels a little more cohesive.
Okay.
There's lots of other parts that they can see.
Yeah, and actually for the function of what's going on, they don't need all these windows here.
Okay.
It's really just a walkway, get to this storage area. So. And I think I can eliminate this and still make their work is.
Okay.
All right, so I'll come back with. Revision. Anything more?
No,
I'm good. Thank you. Good, Peter.
Thank
thank
you.
you, Peter.
Oh, he's with you for this?
I don't know. You're a busy one.
He'll decide after.
Okay.
I think we've been
These-
nice to
these
you.
were all his ideas.
Oh, I'm sure they'll pass mine then.
A few bucks out of Marvin's pocket on that one. Anyways, Eric Goodman, currently 9 Roland Street, Mystic, soon to be 39 West Mystic Street, Mystic Ave. That's what it's called. Okay, let's do it this way first. So these are, I'm just gonna pass. These are pictures of the existing house. It was covered in asbestos shingles, which are now gone. And this was the original, what we can tell, original siding below those. Thank you. Kind of looking around. Obviously Jeff lives right next door, so he's seen the house.
What do you think of the new neighbor, Jeff? You got any comments?
Great. Love
Okay,
it.
good.
And this really has nothing to do with anything, but I just thought it was pretty cool. Found this little picture and the house is on the point there. So just for fun.
Oh, that's super cool. But Jeff's house isn't that.
It is not. In the old form or new form. That's just an aerial. And then
That's super cool.
this is a zoom in of the window, but I'll talk about that in a minute. If you look at it, you'll notice that they actually trimmed a little bit of the trim off when they put the asbestos over it. We found an old photo, not a great photo, but a decent enough photo to be able to recreate the trim as it was. And then these are just a couple of pictures of the houses around it. Jeff, I didn't take a picture of yours because it,
Doesn't fit in.
yeah, I mean, it looks great.
I've been there my whole life. It's fine. Jeff.
So the plan isn't actually changed footprint at all. It's just to change mostly that south gable side and the third floor. The houses across the street all have third floors, which is why we kind of went this route. And then the two other things worth noting is the chimney was actually collapsing from the inside. So we took that down before it fell through the floor. But we did save enough of the bricks, so we're gonna propose to make a recreation of that top of the chimney and just put it back on top of the house. So we'll cut them like thin bricks, put around a box, but it's gonna look exactly the same as it was. It just won't run through the house and it won't have the weight of a full chimney, so. I don't think that's particularly major, but the other piece is that sun porch, which you can see that photo right there. That just looks like it was stuffed on top of some like rocks and probably leftover concrete. It was actually a sun porch a while ago, late 1800s, but it didn't have the screening. It was just with a small roof detail. But that whole foundation needs to come off too and get redone. But as part of this, we're proposing enlarging that and making it a mudroom and bathroom anyways, so that would come off completely. So I think kind of jumping into it, and then I can show you some of the inspiration photos. These are the proposed elevations, what it would change to. This main part of the house that was here, with the exception of the mudroom, these windows and everything aren't changing. Same size, same grill. The original shutters we've taken off and we're going to either reuse or we'll get replicas made by Southern Shutter Company that makes perfect cedar, identical shutters, so. There is some proposed changes to the front door, and then obviously adding this mudroom on. The door that's there now, someone in the fifties changed out the glass and added some like frosted tail things. So what we're proposing to do is go to Upstate Door Company and get another version made that would be identical in size and everything. It's just the glass would be straight over the top instead of that kind of curved detail that doesn't really fit the house that's on those windows. That's a painted, probably some type of fir door or something. We're gonna go with mahogany and then polyurethane it. This door will be made exactly to match the details on the front door, which match the original details. So the top would just be glass over here too, same mahogany. So we're adding one window to this mudroom, and then there's also a window that we're proposing around the side, which is looking here, the side of the mudroom. That's the main changes to the bulk of the house. Even on the rear, everything that's here, with the exception of swapping this door out and this little deck here, which you actually can't see any of this from anywhere. All these windows remain the same. All these windows remain the same. And even someone shoved a crappy screen door in one of the two of these. Basically, these windows all remain the same too. So this roof line doesn't change from the existing roof line, same height as it is there. The roof line that runs across here is slightly lower. It's about 2 feet lower. So we're proposing raising that up so the roof lines match. And then on this drawing, on all the gable ends, we're proposing like a chicken run of shingles to bring down the size of the roof. And then it would also run across the front, across the side, across the other side, just to reduce that tall vertical set of siding. It wasn't drawn here. Peter missed it, so I drew it in. He also apparently didn't like that one shutter, so that drew that too. But basically, it would be dormering all sides of the roof. This is the driveway side facing Jeff's house. This is the rear. Again, you can see this piece if you're down on 215. I don't know that you're going to see this, but it's
From the water?
possibly, yeah. But you do see like this section of it. So on this side right now, this part right here exists, and then they put some type of like walkout porch there, which you can see on that aerial view.
Yeah.
So we're proposing basically bringing the house out to equal, to come out to the same distance as this part. So again, the foundation won't grow at all on the main house, but it'll square it off and get rid of that sort of deck thing. Apparently this was a 2-family at some point, and the guy was using that as his entrance into the house, into this like one room that he had up there. So that might have been why that was built. The details though on all the gables that are existing, we're gonna either put down and reuse exactly, or we'll rebuild them exactly the same and put it back up. But basically everything we're proposing on the trim and such will match what was there when the house was originally built. All cedar clapboard, solid gold, which is the treated pine product. We'll go with an Ipe deck. Windows are all Marvin Ultimate 2/2 to match. Same with the doors too. This is like the only real contemporary thing, but again, you really can't see this from anywhere because of the way the cliff is, I think even from the river. We're proposing a cedar roof, so cedar shake roof. We'll do copper gutters, copper flashing, and even copper valleys where they are.
Nice.
Small little deck off of this, which is a bedroom, and a door on the rear again. And then standing seam copper roof on the mudroom and above the little front door. These 2 corbels that are here, we're gonna take down, strip of the lead paint, and then we'll put those back up. Worst case scenario, Raisin will make a exact replica like they did on the Elm Street house for us. And they just do it out of mahogany. So that's a lot to digest.
I don't, actually, I don't really think you see this. What's that railing? Is it just,
Probably go with an Intex, which is
okay.
we used a lot.
So it'll have a heavier look than that.
Yeah.
Looks like metal.
I definitely don't think you.
I don't think
see
it is, so it doesn't matter. The door on the.
But we might still do this out of like mahogany or something too, depending on sizing.
But, and
almost sure you don't see that at all in public, so.
The door on the mudroom, is that glass or?
Glass in the top, so these three panels will
Mm,
be
yeah,
to
that's
match the
beautiful, yeah.
front door.
Got it.
But it'll be polyurethane grade amount. It'll be like you see on a photo. The rest of the drawings, which is the interior. So this is the interior list. I can do next time, but whatever.
Just one question, Eric. Why did on the driveway side facing Jeff's house, why did we kind of choose the big shed dormer rather than say like
Well,
regular dormers?
they're all shed dormers, but the stairs come up right there. And there's no way to reroute those stairs, and they actually come up like right on the other side of that.
Okay.
So, here though, the exterior wall is 6'8". So we're using the same height as the original ridge, but we're dropping it down to 6'8". So it's not gonna look like your traditional shed dormer where you look at it and you're like, it's gonna look more like my house on the street.
Okay.
Where it's lower. But these are just kind of some inspiration photos, just so, I mean, you all know all this, but that's what a cedar loop roof looks like.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Copper Valley. Right. Copper standing seam.
Love it.
Clapboard. This was kind of like one of the looks we liked. These two, it's kind of the gist of it. The only thing that actually a little changed, but one thing that Sophia came up with before we even came here actually was the sides of these dormers. Which would be here, 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 these two, and then I guess that's it, there's like 6 of them. We were thinking about doing just this in cedar shape, so it would match the roof, and I saw it on this photo, which I thought was really cool. So they did clapboard, and then they just made the side of the gable of the dormer cedar, so it blended in with the roof, and it made it look a little less like you were somewhat suggesting it was going to be like in your forehead. So it would blend in more, and then you really wouldn't see that dormer as much. Anyways,
I don't know if that really bothers me one or the other.
No.
I mean, it's kind of a clean inventory and you just wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
At scale. On some of those houses, I'm probably had it, but I don't mind the distinction.
I don't know what it is. I mean, we were texting about this, like, we can't figure out. It's not a federal, it's
Pre-Civil War is the way it's framed.
Yeah, but it's got the feel of Queen Anne, even though it's too new, early for that.
I
but it
think
says it's 1885.
think they
I
applied,
don't-
they may have applied those Queen Anne details later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some actually some pretty.
So as an
cool-
architect, though, why was that one dormer lower? There's the red house across from me on Irving Street built at almost the same time, has that lower.
Why is the ridge lower?
Yeah, just like on this house. I don't know why they built them that way. It seems.
They definitely framed it at the same time, though. If
Yeah.
you're up in the attic, you can tell. It's all on there.
Just a historical curiosity question because two houses, probably built by the same guy, right?
Yep.
The area under the deck or that existing deck thing is definitely new though.
Right,
That's
right.
cinder block foundation. That was probably done in the 50s or 60s.
And I'm talking
Yeah.
about where you're raising the roof there. It's how it's a little lower on the original is
Yeah.
exactly the same as the house across the street. That's like, it was a curiosity question.
Um, Marvin Ultimate Windows, and then eBay on the deck, but you won't see it. And then the only other thing that I'll have to add to the drawing too is on this end, this is the only place to put 3 condensers for the HVAC system, but we'll screen it in 3-foot lattice, like heavy gauge lattice, so you won't see it anyway.
Perfect.
But the whole property's gonna get re-landscaped. There's been a ton of clearing, overgrowth everywhere. I mean, I'm gonna keep it, live in it, so it's gonna be pretty nice.
That's a nice.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
gonna be stunning.
It's hard for me to read this elevation in like 2D. Be cool to see like a 3D kind of
Yeah.
perspective on it, just to
That's
see the interplay of.
More of a.
Yeah,
Yeah,
could do it
yeah,
like
like,
third,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you do like a,
you can do that.
I think it's.
Yeah, it's basically just sucking the house out a little bit and bringing the right side up. That's the gist of it.
Peter, great job on this one, man. Great job on this one.
These are all my ideas.
I also gonna do this all in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it comes to me, what, week and a half ago?
I need this done like right now.
Favor? Aye.
That's basically it. And we just won't put any shutters in the back because they weren't traditionally there and also. Amazing, great.
No,
No, it's great.
All good.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, cool. See you in 2 weeks.
A difference.
Yep.
I'm gonna take a small recess so you can give them your information.
Are you
and
gonna
he
try
can
to
go
do
home.
the, like the ACs and stuff all, or, next time you come, with that?
I'll have them
Yeah,
include
or-
the condensers,
Okay.
yeah, and the detailed lattice too. So I'll add that. That just
Okay.
kind of came up today when the.
Yeah,
when the
okay.
HVAC guy was there. And then the only other thing is these are gonna be gas lamps, but you know. lights and everything, so. But I think that's really it. It's pretty simple. I mean, it's a bit, yeah.
No, it's beautiful.
Where's,
Really?
where's that chimney go? You said came out
Oh, yeah, the chimney.
It
Was it-
goes like right in the middle of
of that main, the main part, yeah.
Yeah. It'd be good to, yeah, add that in the drawing, but.
The only thing I was gonna just say though, is the head detail on the window casing was actually run a little wider than the side trim. So the sill and that were gonna run a little longer, and then they did have a tiny detail at the top. like a
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. So we're gonna add that. So it'll have a
Okay.
little bit of like banding, like crown detail on it.
Okay.
So. And even though it doesn't show well, we'll still match a little bit of crown here to match that, but we won't match that detail because that detail is pretty heavy. And we're gonna finish it by September. Okay.
All right, thanks, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
I didn't want Bob to have to wait. Thank you very much.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Unrelated note, I get a chance to see the work that his son does, Andy Rockwell. It's pretty amazing. Craftsmanship, he like makes these just very well put decks, homes, everything.
Really?
Yeah, he's a really good builder. In my opinion,
Yeah, Andy is,
in my.
he's Fenwick tied up.
Yeah.
He does a lot of work in Fenwick. and-
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's,
He does a lot of Watch Hill. in the
Yeah,
past.
yeah.
So
he's at that level,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that's just my opinion. I'm not an expert, but I just,
You're the chairman of the historic district. You must know something.
yeah, I just know the areas he works in is not. All right, so here we go. Pre-apps are done, public communications. You have any public
No.
communications? Okay. Approval of the minutes, May 6th, 2025, so right here. That has it.
In the new business for the minutes, it has your Ferguson informed the commission he would no longer make motions going forward. Is that
That's what I said.
accurately
Yeah,
reflect
yeah.
for applications, but for other motions?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I meant more for the, for application.
Applications under consideration, okay.
So,
That's how I took it, I just wanted to.
okay. Yeah. If any other comments?
The rest were good. Nope.
Alright. So, I'm gonna make a motion to accept the minutes with the small addendum that I put in handwritten and where it says under new business, Ferguson informed the commission he would no longer be making motions going forward for applications.
Maurice, second.
In discussion. All right, vote.
Goodrich, aye.
Ferguson, I.
Moriarty, aye.
Kohler, aye.
Okay, so the May 6th, 2025 minutes are approved. old business, we just have handbook, right?
Yeah, before you get into that, if I can just give you a quick update on that barn that you guys considered. Um, Pearl Street, Grove, back the property that runs between Pearl and Grove, the barn, it's listing like this. I had two very qualified people look at it over the last 2 weeks, and both of them said there's nothing left to it.
Oh, really?
The barn has been, some of the major timbers that were probably reusable have already been taken out and they're gone.
Oh.
The amount of rot that is in it is probably, exceeds, human height, where a lot of the boards are gone. I think you forwarded her a couple of
I
people
forwarded
that,
it to you to forward to her. I didn't have her information.
oh, because she asked me, she said something about, yeah,
forward
she
both
said
guys.
something about contacting the people that you,
Okay.
so I don't know, I guess she got it somewhere. So she's still looking at a couple more people, but I just wanted to give you an update that the two very qualified people, one is a guy in Preston who runs kind of a little more than a hobby type sawmill, who is all about that type of stuff, looked at it and said, yeah, there's really nothing left there. The other guy is Jeff Fairbairn, who was way down the other end, who's building the house next to Dave Atkinson, who he has in the western part of the state, he has a building full of barns. He looked at it and said, yeah, there's nothing left there. Anything that's left there is not worth going after. Yeah. So just to give you an update on that, where that's headed, I don't know. May exhaust possibilities of trying to repurpose any of it, so.
So they asked to take it down.
They have not yet,
Oh.
And there's 60 days, and I believe there was the couple of people that you forwarded. She mentioned to me that she was going to contact them, so I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe she got, maybe Sue forwarded them to her or something, I don't know.
Okay.
But I'll follow up with that. We still have some time on it.
It's not gonna fall down next week.
It might. Yeah,
Okay.
it's, I can't guarantee anything on it. I probably should be ordering it taken down, given it so close to the road.
I was like the old Stillman mill. And
I'm trying to be, yeah, they waited till I fell into the river.
Well, no, yeah, one guy got it for $1 and the day he was supposed to go record it, lightning hit it and that was it. Yeah.
So anyway, I just want to give you an update on that. I don't know what the outcome's gonna end up being, but so far not positive, towards the consideration that you guys had.
I mean, I just appreciate them trying. It is what it is.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Do you want to talk about the handbook?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's not a lot to talk about. to be
Yeah.
Very honest, so this week, Rich Cody, who's the lawyer for the town, Tim and I had a Zoom meeting, and we just talked about the handbook, and we mentioned it at the last meeting, how there's a lot of holes in the procedural part of it that kind of Rich gave examples of how it kind of goes against itself. And after our discussion, we can go two routes. We can approve the edits that we made over the summer. It's not gonna make the document any weaker or dramatically stronger. It's gonna clarify certain things for the people who are taking the time to look and read it. Or we could just let them fly and start from scratch a year from now. I personally was part of the process of making those edits, so my personal opinion, you guys can have your own opinion, is just to accept the changes that we made with the shall and may switch.
Yeah, there were a couple of items that he was going to, again, review
And
that he,
yeah, the ones that are legally.
yeah,
you
right,
know,
right.
like, not-
Because,
he's not changing like sconces or anything architecturally related, more procedural. But so that is one avenue, is to accept the changes that were made and leave it as a continued living document, or not accept the changes that were made and leave it as it is right now. But the second step to this is about hiring a consultant to come in and take a really magnifying glass look at it, as opposed to what, you know, a group of volunteers who don't know the laws, don't know different things, no mystic. One of the things that I made a point to ask was that we should be involved with that consultant, and you know, it shouldn't be just a consultant off on an island. You know, we're the commission, we have our views on the way the architecture of downtown, or of the historic districts should look. He or she might make recommendations based on his knowledge and things like that, but I personally feel very strongly that this should be a collaborative effort. It's not just the consultant in a room by him or herself making decisions.
Yeah, it's,
Typically in a process like this, the first thing a consultant is going to do is come talk to you guys and find out really where you want to be, what your mission is, what your visions are. And then they're going to see what they have to work with. They're going to see where they're going to try to end up. And then they're going to work with it. Once they collect this information, there'll probably be other information that they collect outside between downtown residents and businesses to get kind of well-rounded input in addition to what you guys the vision is. Then they start to draft documents. They start to draft portions of it, and they'll share them with you as you go. They'll be marked as draft. You can look at them and you know, have input in them. At that point, they're a draft document. They're not even FOIable. So it's really a commission's working document at that point. Yeah, so that's kind of the thought process on this. I don't know if I timelined it out for you guys last time a little bit, but the goal is over the next few months, try to identify a few of these consultants that handle this type of work. Reach out, figure out get a ballpark of what we want to do and what it's going to cost. Put a CIP line item in for the next budget year, try to get that approved. Fiscal year 26-27, which would be almost about a year from now, have an RFP ready to go. With the understanding we're going to get our money approved and go out with an RFP and try to find some consultants.
on a CIP, and I don't know the process, you can come in, I send it to you too. There are grants available right now that are non-matching, so we can just get the money and spend it.
But at this point, we don't even have the project.
I'm just wondering if we can get the project, can we do it ahead of a CIP? The concern preservation I told you to Connecticut has is we have the money right now with the federal cuts. The chance of having it next year are probably pretty slim. So what I was told, if you guys want to do it, apply sooner rather than later so that there's still a budget. That's where I'm going with that. If we can do it sooner rather than later,
So,
save
I mean,
the taxpayers money, get some money that's laying
you
around.
can apply for it, but whether or not. I don't know if there's timeframes on when it has to be expended.
I'll find out for you guys and
From the
I'll let you know.
parameters of the grant. And I don't know what it covers. It's, you know, grants is very specific law,
Sure.
very.
I'll forward you guys the info. So it's up to 20 grand and we can use multiple grants for the project. So we can hire a consultant for this part, get up to 20 grand. We can hire a consultant for another part of the handbook, get up to 20 grand. So I'll get you both the specifics. So people that are much more educated than me can read it. But yeah, so we can use it for multiple parts. And actually I'll get you guys the whole list because there's other things we can do too. Like, let's say we wanted to, for example, have a historic district street sign that's different from everything else. We can get grants for that. So it might be just a good tool for you guys' tool belt to have in the future too.
So just backing up a little bit on the document, some of the concerns from the attorney was Basically, the way the document is set up, you have the procedures and you have guidelines. And right now, there seems to be a conflict, not even conflict, but kind of a blurred line between those in several places. In the guidelines, there are things that you have to do. And if it's something if it's something that's mandated and must be done a certain way, it probably should be in a procedural portion of the document instead of a guideline. And there's a number of places where the document is crisscrossed like that. It was explained that as the document develops, the consultants typically try to take a hand at handling the procedural part of it. To the best of their abilities or whatever resources they have, but it's often done in part on their end and collaboratively with the town attorney or our counsel that would look at it. Because it's going to be a document that he has to work from as well. So that's part of the approach of crafting the document.
So also having worked on it like Bill, I have a slightly different feeling. I mean, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, the feeling is the present document has some challenges as far as being enforceable. Our
Right.
changes have not made that any better, and maybe in some cases it maybe made it a little worse. If I'm wrong, please correct me. I think if we know whether it be 6 months, a year and a half from now, we're gonna take the project on with some professional help. Why take something broken, break it a different way? Let's just leave.
That was an option that was presented as well. That's an option.
Yeah, that's
That was
what
an
I
option
said.
that Rich
Right.
said.
I said we could.
Yeah.
Accept the.
Right, that's just my opinion.
And I said it doesn't make it weaker, it doesn't make it
Right.
stronger,
Yeah.
or we could just not accept the changes that we make and then.
Yeah, my
go
feeling
to
is
step two.
leave it alone until we move to step 2.
I'm kind of the same mind,
Okay, yeah.
is fall back on what we currently have approved and have had approved for the last 10, 15 years, whatever it's been.
So,
And move
and Rich
forward.
kind of explained it as the consultant would likely look at the current active document. He would look at your draft document, and that would give them an indication of where you were trying to go. So it would be a helpful document in that regard, that it would be, contributing to trying to figure out where things are supposed to go.
But you can keep that as a draft for him to work on down the road.
Keep
Don't.
keep
Yeah.
our,
Yeah.
our efforts.
Keep the draft
Get the
document that you
consultant.
guys have put together and provide that to the consultant with the expectation the consultant is gonna look at it and get a little bit out of it, where it's some direction that you guys are trying to go with it in comparison to the existing document.
So. I know. Mr. Ernst is not here tonight. Maybe we take a vote. When he's here
Mhm.
and all 5 of us can. Have a say, but I'm fine either way. I mean, both are logical. Conclusions to this process, so that's basically what I'm trying to do is conclude the process of the handbook edits. Either we accept them or. Or we don't accept them and just let the. Still be a viable document for the consultant to use in the future. Good. Is that?
Yep.
Any other questions or comments on them?
So you're just gonna kind of table it,
I'm gonna table
bring
it
it up
to-
under old business when Mark's back.
Correct.
Okay.
And I just made myself a note. I'll have them email both of you guys tomorrow so you get to know what the ins and outs are.
All right, so that concludes old business.
There was,
Oh.
Tim, you brought it up a couple times. There's a house on High Street with some fence panels in the front.
Yeah, I
Those
have
panels
honestly-
are gone.
Yeah, I know the
And
panels. are gone.
they put arborvitae, so I
Yeah.
assume it's resolved now. I mean, I
So
don't know.
I haven't seen the arborvitae's. I did
Okay.
see that the panels were gone.
Yep.
And I hadn't had a chance to talk
Yeah.
to Tom about it because
Yeah.
he had been handling that.
Yep.
But yeah, so I
So,
guess
I
that was
think
their
it's-
solution
I
to
think
it
it's it.
without any kind of, yeah. And honestly, I haven't had any time to do any kind of enforcement over the last couple of weeks. I've been flat out, absolutely flat out. So really the one kind of glaring thing we have right now is one Ashby.
I mean, that was gonna say.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
you've been working on.
And
it.
I've had some communication. It's been a little while. Like I think I told you, I updated you guys. The last communication I had, I probably had a little bit of positive response from the owner. I don't know if what he's going to propose to you guys to rectify or remedy what's going on there is going to be acceptable to you, but we got to get to that point where it is least in front of you, so we can determine if there is a remedy. And I'm working toward that.
That was, you read my mind. That was, I was gonna say. if you
Yeah.
Heard any later,
Yeah.
because you presented that you've been emailing or. communicating with-
Yeah, I haven't. I think I played phone tag with him before the last meeting a couple times. Before that, I actually had some conversation with him and got some information from him, but the goal would be to get him in here on a pre-app with some materials and process in front of him, so you guys can look at.
I was surprised the gentleman was here last time for pre-app in this, with the 1700s house on New London Road.
Yeah, Alan,
Yeah, he didn't, he didn't put in an application? He didn't get one in?
not yet.
Seems like he was hot to trot, but. Because it was just the two,
It was just
Really just the two
windows,
windows.
because the siding was like for like, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
And even his windows seem like fine,
Yeah.
yeah. But- Okay.
Then I have a question, just 'cause I drove by it this morning, so I didn't have time to email anybody. It's a house on the corner of West Main and Elm. Looks like they put a new fence up. Did we approve that? I don't remember. Maybe we did. Want me to get you the exact address when I go to
Yeah.
them tomorrow?
Yeah.
All right.
Towards the library.
It's a
towards the
big-
library?
It's as you're going
wrap
down.
around- Yeah, it's a lot of fence, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of fence
I'm-
right before the,
Think I-
that's the right name for it, the old Chipperini property. It's right,
Yeah.
I think you did. There was an
Okay.
application that came in for that.
Yeah.
Is that the one that went down at the, and came back up at the sharp angle?
Yeah.
Yeah, that, I remember. Was it in London Road
That's
property?
two.
I think it's
Elm
right
Street?
Elm Street property, but it's on New London Road.
Yeah,
Two Elm Street.
I know there was one over there somewhere. There was.
I just didn't remember it, like it's brand new with copper tops, and that's why I didn't. Want me to shoot you the address tomorrow?
Yeah.
All right.
You can.
Any other older new business? Alright. Good solid 2 hours tonight, gentlemen. Thank you for your patience and.
Sorry I was late
perseverance.
too.
You cleared out some stuff though.
No, oh, no,
Yeah.
we got, I just have to sign them. I just wanted to get through them, so.
Yeah,
just-
yeah, that's
I'll-
fine.
I'll-
You're not
I'll
about to
stay
wait till it's
after.
all done.
No, I'll stay after.
He's gonna
I just
chat.
didn't want to hold up anybody else, but
I mean, I just think,
We can adjourn.
I just think you guys, we're looking at our permit numbers and the stuff that we're processing. And, you know, percentage wise, you're gonna get, if you're gonna get as much in the district as we're getting outside of the district, I think it's gonna be pretty common. You're gonna see 5 or 6
Yeah.
agenda items pretty regularly coming up. The permits are just rolling, we're rolling in.
wow.
No sign of recession, huh?
No, it's crazy how busy we are. Yeah,
No, that's a good thing.
just to give you a heads up on that.
Hey, we can all remember a time that unemployment was what here and Mystic was empty, and
We done?
I'd much rather have this going on.